In our starting point photography segment on the show, Apple has, they've done this a few times. What Apple does is they seed professional photographers with iPhones well before they send them out to regular reviewers, because they know that the iPhone, the professional photographers need time to do this stuff. They got to fit it in with regular schedule and that kind of stuff. Austin Mann, austinmann.com, AUSTINMANN.com. Austin's been involved in this for at least 3, if not more, iPhones. So he's got a good relationship with the folks at Apple. Austin took his iPhone XS to Zanzibar. So, he just didn't pick up and go that day. This was something that he had planned for a while. So Austin went off to Zanzibar with the iPhone XS. Another very well-known photographer is a guy named Pete Souza, Portuguese, by the way. Oh. Pete was the official White House photographer for Ronald Reagan and for Barack Obama. So any official photos that you saw of Reagan and Obama were taken by Souza or one of his team.
I know that name, yeah.
Some of the most famous shots of Obama were taken by Souza. The amazing photo of the little black kid feeling Obama's head. You saw Obama
when Obama's
in front of the Resolute desk. And the story behind that was the kid said, "Is your hair like mine?" And Obama bent over to let the little kid rub his hair, and Souza took that picture. The hell was that for?
Because I miss Barack Obama. Sorry, but
one of the interesting things about Obama, or Souza's photography of Obama, compared to Bush's official photographer, I've often wondered where the truth in this is. I don't believe that George Bush was an unfeeling man. I don't believe he was a very smart man.
No.
I don't believe that he didn't have a personality, that he didn't, I'm going to say this the wrong way, but he didn't feel human in the Oval Office. The pictures of George Bush, in my opinion, did not show his humanity. It showed him as the POTUS, as the official person, the representative of all his photos. He felt very stiff, and maybe that's because he was being photographed. Some people just are not comfortable. Fine. So I'm not making a judgment on Bush. I'm making more of a judgment on his photographer. Whereas Obama was completely different. I think Souza is the first time that the White House official photographer became known because of his wonderful photography. They'll become known because the famous picture of Lyndon Johnson on Air Force One taking the oath of office with Jackie Kennedy behind him with the blood spatter dress. That guy became famous because of that photo, but it was because of that photo. Where Souza, because of his shots of Obama, and they were wonderful. They showed this wonderful joy and humanity in Obama. Like I said, I believe Bush had too. It just didn't come across in his photography. So I really like Souza's photographic style. And so Apple gave him an iPhone X10 as well. Terry was teasing me because I keep calling it X or 10, or it's just annoying. Monty says he's too much of an introvert. That's possible. That's certainly why Bush didn't photograph as well. So these guys go off with their cameras to take pictures. Now, the reason why Apple gives these guys these cameras is because Apple wants them to go out, take good pictures, but also, I got to believe, to show off the capabilities of the camera. You think that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
That's why Apple is doing this. They want you to show the camera in its best possible light and show people what the camera can do.
I'm surprised they take such a lofty approach. You know, like before when they did those YouTube promotional things of the iPhone 10, why don't they give the camera just to folks and say, go see?
You stole my thunder on that. Thank you very much.
Oh.
I'm now covering up your face so you can't. Well, so here's the photos that Austin Mann took. And I got to tell you, I'm not impressed. Melissa, these were the shots that I showed Melissa and didn't tell her who the photographer was. And I think I showed, and so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I showed that these photographs aren't that special. That these are photographs that if I gave anybody with even the slightest bit of a photographic eye that camera, they could take these same shots. These are, if you go to Zanzibar, these are the shots you're going to take at Zanzibar. These are the shots everyone's taking at Zanzibar. If you're walking on the beach and you see that hole, if you've got any kind of photographic eye and you see off in the distance a boat, you're going to wait for a boat to come to that hole. So the photo didn't impress me. This is another shot that, I like the shot. I like the composition of the shot. He could have at least edited out the second sun to make it not look like we're on
the
Tatooine.
Zanzibar on the other planet.
It's a simple edit in Snapseed, and that you were asking what causes that. It's the light bouncing around inside the camera and causing a double reflection of it. That doesn't show off the iPhone. That doesn't show off the iPhone in its best light. MacMan says, I've taken better than that shot, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. Another one of his, hey, do you? Where's the rest of the shots go? Why do I have a red edit link in there? What the hell? Oh, for crying out loud. Hang on. Why is this Austin Mann link going to red edit? That was just confusing. So then he took shots that rightfully showed off what the iPhone and the iPhone XS could do. The iPhone is the shot on the left, and all the highlights are blown out. You're shooting into brightness. And the iPhone S didn't blow the highlights. Okay, great. Fantastic. That's one of the things a lot of folks are saying about the iPhone XS, that it doesn't blow out the highlights. Okay, that's fine. That's great. Except here's another shot that I showed this picture to you, and one of the problems we both of us have with this shot, here's the full version of it, is his horizon is dead center. This is one of those things that every photographer knows that you don't do. You don't put your horizon dead center. But this is another shot that anybody can take. If you're sitting on the beach, if you're in the water, this is a shot that is an obvious shot to take.
Beautiful sky, beautiful water, beautiful boat.
It's an easy shot to take. I'm going to skip that one for the time being. So here's another one of his shots. You said you like this shot.
I just love that color. That's one of my favorite colors. So the color captures me.
Lovely color.
Beautiful.
No story behind it whatsoever.
I could do that.
There's no story to this
No
image.
story. Kind of like maybe a piece of fence that is maybe a gate.
That's what Monty says. The color is nice, but why? What's the story?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out this is the door of a prison island in Zanzibar. Well, you didn't tell me that through the story of the photo.
No.
Tell me the story. I could see if you'd done a long shot and then this shot, but this shot itself, there's no story there.
There isn't a story,
This is another example of a nice shot.
Nice shot.
Nothing special about it.
Not really.
This is not Austin Mann, world famous photographer worthy. This is a shot I would take if I was in Zanzibar and saw a turtle.
Me too. Because of you, I would get right down. I would get close. Fill the frame.
Another lovely shot. But
I love the texture in that of the ocean. But
It's nothing special. This is an obvious shot. If you're on the beach in Zanzibar and the sun's going down, this is the picture everyone's going to take.
Oh, well, that's a shot everyone would take. Is that horizon crooked?
Yes, he's got a couple where his horizon is crooked. This is just simply a boring sunset shot.
It kind of is one of those boring ones. Oh, okay, you had to be there.
Yeah, I mean, is this Hawaii? Is this Florida? Is this Zanzibar?
Oh, it is nice. Mark's saying, come on, Sean, it's nice. It is. It's lovely. It tells the story, I'm sure. But
Mark, it is a nice picture. But it's not the picture worthy of an Austin Mann or showing off the capabilities of the iPhone 10. Sorry, the 10s. You understand what I'm saying, Mark? That this is what Apple gave him this 2 weeks before they gave it to anybody else. And these are the pictures you took? Big deal. Again, this is an average, everyday picture that anybody would have taken if you're on a spice farm in Zanzibar.
Is this his point? Is this the point that he's trying to make?
That's not what he's saying in the articles.
Okay. I don't really...
I get the point. There's a tree growing to the side of the building, which is kind of cool. But there's this light post in the way. You've got the beautiful blue of that door. And you have this really cool texture in the building. But why is there a light post in the middle of it? Dude, move to the left and take a different shot.
Don't like it.
Here's the blue door. Okay, so we've done all these. So now another thing that people were raving about, and a lot of folks liked justifiably. So Apple has this new function of the new iPhones where you can slide the f-stop back and forth to increase or decrease the f-stop. The f-stop number, the lower the f-stop number is, the blurrier your background will be. That's just a general statement. The higher your f-stop number is, the clearer your background will be. So in this photo, you can see the background. And by the way, this is a great shot.
I love it.
He's got a great face, a great smile.
Face.
Fantastic light. Hang on, let me show this picture, people. Fantastic light. But again, this is an easy shot to take. This is the shot everyone's going to take on that boat with the sun setting.
It's a beautiful time of day.
Guy smiling at you, you know, it's great. Nothing special about the composition of this image. So now Austin is showing off the slider of the new photo software, going from the f2.8 all the way up to f22. I think this one, if I look at it correctly, hang on a second, I think this one is f22. I didn't say. Oh, crap. I'm going to assume it's a high f-stop because the background is f16. It says here at the bottom, f16. That's fine. That's great. So this is where the artistry of the photographer comes into play. Before the iPhone XS, you had to, on a DSLR, set your aperture ahead of time, your f-stop ahead of time, and then that was it. You couldn't change it afterwards. Now you can change it, make your background blurrier or less blurrier. Right. And so you choose what you want to show off. So I like that. But the problem is, take a look at this. So this is f16. So when you decrease the f-stop from f16 to f4.5, you see how the background gets blurry? This guy back here gets much, much blurrier. That's the function of the f-stop. We go all the way down to f1.4, and the guy in the background is completely blurry. But so's the guy's shirt.
Oh, did it go blurry?
Look at the shirt.
Oh, no.
I guess I can't zoom in any more than that. But if you look at this shot online, watch his shirt as they go from f1.4 up. See his shirt?
Oh, yeah.
His shirt should not have, if this was a DSLR camera, his shirt would not have gotten blurry because the f-stop meant that everything in that plane should have stayed in focus.
Interesting.
So what Apple's doing with the f-stop adjustments isn't actually changing the background. It's just increasing or decreasing the blur on the guy's face.
Oh. Okay. So it's not really an f-stop thing.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. So I really was not, and just to be clear, I don't hate Austin Mann. If some people accuse me of online, I don't know Austin Mann, never met the guy. He's done some really good stuff for Apple. He's done this kind of thing for Apple on many, many occasions. And so I intentionally didn't link to this story on The Loop because I didn't think the photography was very good. Like I said, it wasn't worthy of Austin Mann. But I did find a article from the Daily Mail, and I got chewed out for using the Daily Mail too. I was like, oh, I can't do anything right. Former White House photographer Pete Souza releases the first pictures taken using Apple's new iPhone X. Now, this has got its own issues. One of the problems with this one was the Daily Mail, for some bizarre reason, seems to have really blown up the photographs. So they're really blurry, really JPEG artifacts. If you go to Pete Souza's Instagram account, you'll see these photos. They're very clear. They're not nearly as ugly as they are here. But their JPEG compression quality is not what I'm talking about here. For me, it's the actual photography. Souza shows, I think this is a great shot. I've been in this spot. I've stood in this spot and seen this view. He's doing this in, the late evening, shooting in low light conditions with the iPhone. This is at the tomb of the unknown soldier. There's motion and movement in the shot. You can see
I like that one.
The soldier moving. I don't actually like the photo because he's got the wreath is covered up. The wreath covers up this bit. If he had stood a little bit more to the side, say to the right-hand side, he could have gotten the text of this and the wreath. If
I don't mind that. That's just because you're a Greystone reader.
Right. That's right. This is a wonderful shot. Now I don't know if you can see this on the show, on the video, but it's really grainy up here. It's awful. And I don't think that's Pete Souza and the iPhone. I think this is a factor of the JPEG compression that the Daily Mail put on it when they put it on the website. But I think this is a great shot. This is a shot that a lot of tourists don't get. What we tend to do as tourists is we tend to walk into a space like this with these busts, with these heads, go to one of the heads and take a picture of the face, as if we were taking a picture of someone else's face. Look for this. This is that leading line thing we've talked about on the show on many occasions. This is a great aspect of leading lines and knowing how to use your camera, because Pete Souza would have pointed his camera at this scene, and I guarantee you the iPhone would have wanted to focus on maybe the second or third bust. But Pete tapped on his screen and told the iPhone, no, focus on this thing on the far left-hand side. Try that next time you're taking iPhone photographs. Tap on the screen on the place where you want your iPhone to focus, and it'll focus on that one spot as opposed to somewhere a third of the way into your shot. And the way he stood so that you have this wonderful leading line from the first head, the first nose, all the way down the line. I think it's a really good image. This is at the Lincoln Memorial. I think this is another great shot because it shows the black and white capabilities of the iPhone XS, which Austin Mann didn't do. There wasn't a single black and white shot in Austin Mann's group of photos. This is another one of those shots that I've been to this spot. I've stood in this place. And I love the fact that you could see the people in the foreground, but the brightness of Lincoln in the background, it's like there's a light being shined on it. I think it's a really good shot. This one he's at a protest. This is an obvious shot for a professional, not for the average tourist, but for a professional. You wait for the person's signs to frame the Capitol building. That's the idea of patience in your shot. I'd love to talk about this shot and see, were you standing there for a long time? Did you think about the shot, or was it an instantaneous kind of shot? But the framing of the Capitol building with the two signs is wonderful. This one, I'm biased because I just don't like Jackson Pollock. I think this is probably a fairly mundane kind of photo. It's kind of obvious, someone walking in front of a big photo. So I'll ding him on that one. This is another really nice shot where you tap on the foreground image and it makes the background image really, really blurry. And you can do it the other way around too. I tell folks that do both. Take your phone when you see this kind of stuff and tap on the foreground image and take the photo, but then tap on the background image and take the photo. Have the background image be blurry and the foreground image be in focus, because that might give you an interesting little effect if you give that a try. Love this shot of the where is this? This is the National Museum of the American Indian, and this is what that the Daily on one screen. This is a 30-inch screen. I have to scroll through this shot. It'd be much better if I could get it all in one shot. But again, this is black and white.
He has many Instagram accounts. Like, he has several different
ones.
He's
got professional ones and personal ones and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Another great shot. This is the George Washington's oath of office on the Washington or Lincoln. No, I'm sorry. This is Lincoln. This is Lincoln's. But again, it's great. Look at the light from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, and again, it's in black and white. This is another example of how the framing of a shot makes a difference. And I wish that the Daily Mail hadn't blown this shot up so much. It's a nice shot. You can see what happened. He's probably just sitting on the top of the Lincoln Memorial steps and waiting for people to walk up them. But when you look down to the bottom of it, you see it says, "I have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr., the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, August 28th, 1963. That in the same shot becomes much more powerful.
Oh, it really does. It's very unfortunate.
This is a nice shot, just all by itself.
But then when you scroll down, I go, oh, that says a lot.
So that's why I say the Daily Mail screwed this shot up. I think they screwed the other shots up as well. This is a hard shot. He even admits it. This is the Air Force Memorial. It's just a hard shot to get. But this is one of those shots that if I'm Apple, I'm like, no, dude, don't post that shot. It's just, it does show the different levels of blue you're getting in the image. So maybe that's why he put it up there. This is a giant moth. I can't critique it because it's really awful. I don't know if you can see it, but the JPEGing of it up here in the corners is just really terrible. I don't think that's a factor of the iPhone. A shot of someone doing a drawing on a chalkboard. I think this shot's kind of cool because it shows off the color, the low light capabilities, the color of the iPhone. This is a shot of the Hope Diamond. This is just a tourist shot. Nothing special about this shot.
Yeah, no.
It's just kind of cool. All these folks are taking pictures of the Hope Diamond. This was the one that blew me away. When I first saw this, I thought, how is he taking electron microscope?
It looks like a macro. Yeah.
How is he taking those kinds of shots with the iPhone? But it turns out, as Monty correctly guessed, it's a cactus. It's a cactus shot in black and white and cut and shot really, really closely. This shows off the iPhone.
It does.
Nothing Austin Mann did showed off the iPhone.
You didn't show that one that Austin Mann did with the water crashing, sort of water.
It wasn't on his page. It was on the Austin Mann page, and he didn't include it.
Okay.
Lincoln Memorial again, nice shot. Okay shot of the Capitol building. Another shot that's too big for this image. This is just a creepy shot. I don't want to go with that one. Let's see that. I think that's pretty much it. So that for me is the difference. And what you said, I've always believed this. Apple should take an average person, someone who's got a good eye, someone who's, you know, a decent enough photographer, but take that person, give them an iPhone XS, give them an iPhone XS Max. Let's see what the average person can do. I expect good images from professional photographers. You should, in theory, be able to give a pro any camera. You should be able to give a pro an iPhone 4, and he can get great shots. So it doesn't impress me that you gave a great camera to a great photographer, and guess what? He made great shots. Give photos to Melissa, who has a good eye and is learning about photography. Let her experience what a good camera would be. Let her show off those kinds of things. Give them to the people. Apple has done the Shot on iPhone campaign. They've had it on billboards all over New York and LA. Give the iPhone XS to those people.
Yeah, see what they take.
See what they take.
Yeah, it's just lofty to give it to these guys that are so famous.
No. Monty says, none of these images were jaw-droppingly good, especially from those two people.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I think the cactus shot was great from Pete Souza. The I Have a Dream shot was great from Pete Souza. That was a compositional issue. But those are not images that make me want to run out and buy an iPhone XS, even though I know the camera is significantly better than even the iPhone X. You had something you wanted to talk about.
Oh, well, I just wanted to share that I have a lovely friend right now who's traveling in Italy, and she's posting I said post pictures, and she's posting pictures that I'm going, oh, Sean, I don't want to go to Florence anymore. They're just awful. They make it look dirty, and they're just and it's, you know, I'm not meaning to be judgy or, my goodness, she's loving it, but I'm looking at them and going, these are just terrible photographs, just awful. And looking at what she could do, and it's nice to lay in bed with you and go, oh my gosh, look at this one, and she could have done this and this and this, and interesting, right? So she's going to be coming back with a bunch of...
The thing with her photos is, and this is just only slightly patting myself on the back, if she just knew a bit more.
If she had a half a dozen of your simple guidelines, her photographs would be wonderful. I mean, they couldn't not be, right? She's in Florence.
You're in a beautiful city.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we're going to Lisbon, because we're going to be in a beautiful city. You're guaranteed, if you listen to me, you're guaranteed of getting some good shots. Your friend took a picture of a statue in Florence. I had the exact same picture of when I was in Florence. And she's done that thing that so many beginners do. She's focused on the center of the image. It's a beautiful, amazing, amazing statue. The rape of, I think, the rape of Lucretia, I think it is. Awful subject matter, but beautiful marble sculpture. But she's cut off the Lucretia is reaching up to the sky for saving, and there's two men are trying to pull her down, and she's cut off Lucretia's hand and the feet on the statue. So she's lost a lot of the oomph of the statue. She's done a couple of things which I see tourists do all the time. Like I said in the Pete Souza shot of the busts of the heads, tourists tend to walk into a space, see something pretty, and then they stop. Like the feet get nailed to the ground. There was that shot she took of this wonderful street scene of a market.
Yes.
From probably 25 feet away.
Well, she probably went, oh, it's such a charming little bit. And I straight away said, oh, she could have gone in and just got that close-up, colorful, beautiful image, not of the whole storefront.
Knowing Florence,
a piece of it.
I know exactly what happened. She's walking down the street. She turned a corner. She saw that, went, I have to take a picture. But her feet got nailed to the ground. Yes. So she couldn't move until she took a picture, went click, and then she walked off. If only she had moved in 10, 15 feet.
Yeah.
If only she had moved to the left a couple of feet, she would have had this beautiful shot of this gorgeous fruit stand with a wine bottles in the background. Would have had a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
The other thing that you brought up that I struggle to impress on people about going to Lisbon is tell folks what you said about her photos when she comes back.
Oh, about I want to talk to her. What?
Hanging them on the wall.
Hanging them on the wall. Well, that was because now we have these plans to do this, and we had an incredible journey and experience in Australia. And I'd want to say to her, which ones would you choose that you could put up on the wall that would remind you of that incredible ambiance and that Florence experience that you had?
There's really not much there.
There isn't. And for me, looking at it saddens me. I think, no. There's not going to be many that she would be able to take and represent them up on the wall of her home. I don't mean many. I mean a few from here, a few from there. So it's kind of sad. I feel sad about that.
It was funny you saying, I don't want to go to Florence now.
I looked at the pictures and went, it looks kind of creepy and dull, and I don't want to go there now.
She took a picture of the Arno River that runs through Florence, the beautiful Ponte Vecchia Bridge.
In the background.
And then in the foreground, behind her.
Oh.
She turned around and took a picture of a different bridge that's just this boring mud-colored water bridge.
It looks like awful. A swamp.
Yeah,
the river
awful.
And I went, this just doesn't look as nice as what I thought it was going to be.
Don't post that picture. It's a shitty picture.
I'm just
going
to Lisbon now.
I got a friend who's also off traveling, and they posted, I think 3 or 4 days ago, they posted like 45 photos on Facebook.
65. It was 65. 70. It was like 70 photographs of this place.
See, I was lying about the number of photos. So
you don't lie.
So they wouldn't know we were talking about them. Now that you've told the exact number of photos, they know we were talking about them.
They're so sweet and lovely. They won't mind.
For that kind of stuff, to me, just post the ones that represent that moment. Not 15 photos of the same thing from different angles. Find your best photo and post that one photo. If you are looking at a monument, Statue of David's a perfect example. You don't need to show a Statue of David from 15 different angles, right? You can shoot 15 different shots, but then pick the best one, the one that you like the most out of the bunch of that space. Don't post every single shot that you took of the Statue of David. There's no need. We all know what he looks like.
Yeah,
we want to know that you're there. And that
my friend's picture of him wasn't so bad. It was acceptable, but you can't go wrong, really.
So it's one of the things that I'm really, like I said, I'm really. MacMan says, but if she likes them, then the mission is accomplished.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and this is another thing I struggle, is people generally don't know a bad photograph until they're shown that what a good photograph is. So a perfect example is that street scene that she walked into. If she'd been there with us, this is Lisbon, and I do this all the time when I'm on a photo walk with a group. I'll see people do the tourist thing, which is stop, take a picture. I was like, no, get closer. And they go, oh, that's like they hadn't thought of it. And we'll walk closer and I'll say, what do you see? Don't take the picture yet. Look at the scene first. What do you see? And maybe there's someone walking down the street and they're wearing a really pretty blue dress that would work perfectly with your shot. Or maybe there's someone who's going to walk in the middle of your shot before you take it. Look around first. Hey, maybe if I stood over here, I can get the shopkeeper walking out of his store. With the wine bottles in the background. So look around. That's what I do. It's what I will do when we go on our walks in Lisbon in March 2019, is that's the idea. You'll have a professional photographer kind of looking over your shoulder and helping you out. You'll be able to go, hey, Sean, where should I shoot this one? And I'll say, what do you want to represent? What do you want to see? Do you want to see a big picture, small picture? You want to move in closer? You want to get further? What do you want? And I'll coach you through the process of these shots. And then the best part of it is you'll start learning what makes a good photo. Your photos will become better. And then when you come home, you'll still have that knowledge. You'll still be able to take good photos. It's not a matter of taking good photos just in Lisbon. The knowledge you learn, you'll take good photos when you come home and when you're in San Francisco and in Toronto and in wherever else you might be. So don't think of it as just being this one trip. Think of it as going into a class where you're going to learn stuff they're going to take, for every camera you use, for every situation you use, you'll get some more tips when you join us in Lisbon in March 2019. If you want more details, go to startingpointphotography.com. Remember the name of the hotel?
I have to get it in my head.
Tesoro de Baixa.
Tesoro de Baixa. De Baixa.
Got a wonderful, wonderful little
Tesoro
boutique
de Baixa.
hotel. It's in a central area in downtown Lisbon, walking distance to a bunch of different things. There's a tram line that runs right by there that takes us off to the Jerónimos Monastery and the Belém Tower. We're going to go to the Castle São Jorge. We're going to go to Sintra, which is a beautiful, beautiful space. We're going to go to the Cabo da Roca, which is the westernmost spot in all of Asia, Europe and Asia. So this is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy yourself. So please find out more details at startingpointphotography.com, or send me an email and I'll answer any questions that you might have. The hotel is dirt cheap. It's about $110 a night for a single. I think a little bit more for a double. And they got a really good deal. They're giving us the non-refundable rate, but you can refund up to 30 days ahead of time. So they'll take a 20% deposit as soon as you make the reservation, but then you can still cancel up until 30 days before. So what you want to do when you book your reservation, book the non-refundable one, and then in the comment section say you're going on the Starting Point Photography Workshop, and then send me an email too, so I know that you're doing it, so I can make sure that everything is okay if, God forbid, you had to cancel it.